What is up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of 2026 with Mind Gaming. Today, we are going to be creating a currency ATM. This will take one currency, convert it to another, the various in-game different aspects in-game. We'll be able to kind of do whatever we want with this. So, as you can see, just takes one currency, grants another. So, let's hop right into it. First thing you're going to want to do is add a new verse file to project. We're just going to call it ATM manager, MAGER, and we're going to create editable. This is actually to convert our one currency to another for various different reasons in the game. It will be a button device. And we're going to need a purchase amount. So at editable, these will all set in the editor. Purchase amount, and that will be of type int equals you know what, guys, let's hop on the trend 6-7. Lexia going on up there. Okay, next will be a currency type, because we do have two currency types. So we're going to have, first we'll call it our deposit type. Also editable currency type. Now we already have some enums set in the game in our main game manager. Type equals currency type, and it is Pinecone. And now we're going to need our editable of, I will call it a withdraw amount, which will also be a type int, and will be, we think we'll do 1,000, 10,000. Will be 10,000. It will be a withdraw type, again, of currency type dot coins, just currency type enum coins pinecones. So that's where we're at right now. So we've got our button, which we're going to hook up. It's already in game. Our purchase amount and our purchase type. So this will be the money we put in. Our withdrawal amount, which will be the money it returns. Could call it a return amount. Do that. Return amount. Return currency type. So again, just an amount and a currency type. Okay, so on to the next step. If you guys are still following along, now is a great time. Hit that follow button, hit that like button. We're trying to get to 50 subscribers so we can start doing some live builds on YouTube here. Every little bit helps. Okay, next is we're going to need a reference to our main game manager. So we're going to create a variable. We're going to call it maybe game manager. And it will be our maybe tycoon controller. So this is for a tycoon game, guys. It should be coming out hopefully within the next week or so. Of just putting some polishing touches on it. So maybe maybe game manager will be our tycoon controller, and that's going to equal false. So we've got all of our editables set. We've got a reference to our game manager. Now it is time to init or initialize the ATM manager. So we're going to call it init ATM manager. I don't like how that looks. ATM manager. We can maybe change that later. This basically what we're going to have to do here is just going to return nothing, void equals. We just need to get a signal from our button. Button dot, we're going to enable it right off the get-go, and then button dot event, maybe. I'm going to subscribe to that, and we're just call it button. So what we're doing here, we're getting a reference from our button. We're going to enable this button so it's enabled in game. Then we're going to subscribe to the interactive event of said button on button press. Super simple stuff. Okay, guys. So now that we have initialized this manager, we're going to figure out what it does when we press the button. In our case, we want it to convert one currency to another. So we'll start on button pressed. The button device takes in a agent. So we are going to go agent. Going to return nothing. And then we need to get a reference to our custom player. So because this is in a working game already, we're going to grab him by going if player square brackets agent. So that's getting our player from the agent. And then we're going to say if my manager is maybe game manager, and if my player, now we need to go into our all players map here, manager, all player map, and now this is just a map of all the players in the game. We're going to pull that player from there. Okay, so now we have pulled our player from our map, and now we're just going to see if they have enough money to pay for the purchase amount. So if my player can forward currency, that's a function we have in our custom player. It's going to take in the player and the purchase amount and the currency type, which in this case will be the deposit type. Then we are going to spend our currency. So then I'll go player and dot currency player the amount, and it will be the deposit currency type. So that's what's going to happen, guys. And then what we're going to need to do is we'll call convert player's currency. There. Now we don't have this function built yet. That will be our next step. And we're also just going to add a print log that says player spent money to convert. And just so when the button's pressed, we get the player from the button pressing it. Make sure he's in the all players map. Then make sure they can spend the money, or they can afford the money. Then we're going to make sure they can spend the money. Then we're going to convert it. That will be our next step. Okay, so now we're going to convert that player's currency. So convert player currency. That's what we called earlier. And this will take agent type agent colon equals if player is that player agent. If the player is the player agent, so if the player is the player agent, and if my manager, maybe game manager, my player, basically it's the same thing we did above. Dot all player map. Pull the player from that map. Same thing up above, except instead of taking money, we are going to player dot add currency, and that takes the player and it's going to take our return amount there, and it's going to take our return currency type. S in there. There, and we're actually going to get rid of the S because it's not plural, and that's how I like to my player. We're just going to update or rebuild their UI. Again, another function we have inside, and that's just going to update it so that we've seen it go in. We'll do that. Do that right here also. It's going to happen so quick that I don't think it's really going to matter. Or our player is going to. So there we are. Here, add another print log. I always like to just add these in just when I'm first testing. Player. Call it player currency conversion. Success. Full. Okay, guys, so that's it. We've got our ATM manager, which is a class. I'm going to show you how to incorporate it into the main game controller here. We've got our editable button, our editable purchase amount, currency type. We've got our return amount, what the player will return with the currency type, a reference to our game manager. We're initializing it by enabling the button and subscribing to the interacted with event by pressing the button. When button's pressed, it converts the player from gets the player from the agent, goes through and checks to make sure they can afford our purchase amount. And if it can, it will spend the purchase amount and return our return amount. Easy peasy. Nothing really else to it. So next here, we're going to load into our Tycoon controller. And we're going to just make do it right under this one. It'll just be reference to, call it maybe here. Type ATM here. And then we're going to just set to it. We're going to go if what did I call it now? Maybe ATM. Sure. If ATM is maybe ATM manager, then we're going to set ATM manager inside there. We're going to set the maybe game manager equal to itself. Then we're just going to initialize it. The ATM manager dot init ATM manager, just like that. So that has now set the manager in there. So what we're going to do is just push our verse changes. Now back in UEFN editor, just click on Fortnite, search up a button device, drag it into the world. You can configure this however you like. Really, all I do is turn visible in-game off, and I'll set an interaction radius. You'll just click on your game manager or wherever you've done this. It could be its own device in the level. Ours is just this device back here, game manager. And what we have to do is just pick this button like so, save changes. And you can see here we've got all of our information, so you can change it in the editor at any time. What we might end up doing is maybe adding this to a like an array of them, so we can just have a bunch of ATM machines all over the map. And then push changes. All right, guys, so now we have loaded into the map. We're just going to come over. We have set this up to deliver us pine cones. We've got 75, 67 was the requirement. So convert 67 pine cones for 10K coins. Boom, we do that. And as you can see, now we do not have enough pine cones. Don't forget, guys, like, follow, and subscribe if possible. If you want to see me make a part 2 where I show you how to set the interaction text of the button, just comment down below. We look forward to putting out a bunch more videos in the new year. So wishing you all a happy New Year's. Thanks for checking the video out, and we'll catch you on the next one.